who made the decision as to whether or not my reading of the Bible was acceptable. It was the presbytery. There's always a magisterium. Magisterium, if you don't know, comes from the word magister in Latin, which just means master. So when you call somebody Mr. so and so, you're calling them magister, master. And what a magisterium is a master, that has authority to resolve doctrinal debates. Well, how does this work? You know how it works in an Anglican communion. A bishop says that this comports with our book of common prayer and it's acceptable. In a Baptist church, it works like this. There's a Baptist faith and message, or a confession of faith of some kind on the wall of the church sometimes, or in a pamphlet, as you walk in the church or on the church's website. But ultimately, it's the local pastor. If he's an independent, fundamentalist Baptist pastor, he's the guy that's ultimately going to say that you're okay to teach Sunday school because you believe the Bible as we do.
You also have the big Southern Baptist Convention.
And they have a Baptist faith and message. And when you disagree with the Baptist faith and message, they can kick you out of their convention. But it's ultimately the convention that functions as the magisterium. So it's sociologically necessary. There's no way around this. There's no way around there being a second standard at work. Written or unwritten, assumed, built up of lots of different documents or made up of one. There's always a second book. And there's always a magisterium at work. And the difference between Catholics and Protestants on this issue is not whether those things are there, but whether we acknowledge them honestly. And that's one of the things that's really compelling about Catholicism is we just put our goods up there and open and say we've got church tradition, liturgy, and catechism, a second book that's operative that governs our interpretation of the Bible. And ultimately, there is a college of bishops that function as a magisterium. At the top of that college of bishops is a pope that at very rare times in history will speak infallibly. It's only happened a couple of times in the history of the church. But it's the pope in vital relationship with other bishops of the church that function as a magisterium. And the fact that we're forthright about it and open with regard to how this works, whereas other people want to say that really pay no attention to this, we just believe sola scriptura, Bible alone. I think that that's a way of enriching a conversation with somebody who's not Catholic. To say, listen, if you dig long enough, who governs your interpretation of the Bible? And if you're talking to somebody that doesn't have 9 PhDs in a number of different theological topics, who's not an expert in biblical languages, there's always because you know what? I got one of those PhDs, and I know how little I know. It's amazing. You get a PhD and you discover that you're a lot less intelligent than you were. You learn more about what you don't know than what you actually know. So, anyway, I hope that helps. That's a way into those kinds of conversations. Now, what we're going to do next time we get together, not next week, but the following week, is we're going to talk about how do we actually go about reading the Bible. How do these things work together to give us a way into the Bible, and how can we be confident that when we go to the catechism or go to the priest or go to a theological textbook, that we're not just blowing smoke. And so we'll get into that a little bit next week. Peace, guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.